Stephen Colbert is among a group of Hollywood elites that has built their career by pretending to tell jokes. They're basically propagandists at this point, and they're not actually funny anymore. And you'll remember that Stephen Colbert specifically is a massive Biden fan. Well, he's now wanting to ditch him after the debate. Take a look.
The competing virtue here, there's another competing virtue, and that is self-sacrifice. And self-sacrifice takes a particular kind of courage. And that is a courage I believe Joe Biden is capable of. I believe he's a good enough man, he is a good enough president to put the needs of the country ahead of the needs of his ego. And however painful that might be, it is possible handing leadership to a younger generation is the right thing for the greater goodest. Or good as, either one.
So I couldn't play the whole monologue here, but if you watch the whole monologue, the whole thing is just a roast of Joe Biden. It's talking about his age, about how incompetent he is, and he's essentially saying to Joe Biden, cut your pride. The only people who want you in the race is you and your family. So like your party doesn't want you. You as the president, as the presidential nominee, you are the leader of the party and nobody wants you. But they can't force you out. That's the irony, right? Which says a lot, by the way, about his family. I do want to point that out. Joe Biden, to have the pride to want to keep going is kind of typical of an older man. It's fine, I get it. But for your family, like his wife and his kids just want him to keep on going. He's 81. Like, let him just, like, I don't like Joe Biden, but I still feel really bad for this guy. It's elder abuse, as people have pointed out, to make him keep getting up and having to speak in front of people and to be humiliated on stage. It's elder abuse, and it shows that the family really cares about being in power, I think, even more than Joe Biden, especially Jill. Jill Biden is the one who's been running our country. There's no question about it. It's because she is power hungry. The whole party cares about who has the best chance of beating Trump. That's what Democrats care about. And the only thing that the family cares about is having as much power as possible at the expense of their 81-year-old grandpa or husband or father. So Democrat elites are panicking right now, rightfully so, by the way. Like, as of now, they're screwed. I'll show you why they're screwed, by the way. If you look at these odds, this was posted by Nate Silver earlier this week. Nate Silver is like one of the most credible pollsters out there. He's been right on almost every single presidential election this decade. He's in charge of 538, if you've seen any of that. And he's a pretty nonpartisan guy. He tends to be a little bit more left-leaning in his polls just in terms of his bias. But in any case, his polls are pretty solid. If you look at the odds, I want to pull them up right now for you to see. These, again, this is from this week. So this is after kind of the results of the debate debacle and Biden's interview with George Stephanopoulos as well, which was really bad. This is what we're looking at from Nate Silver. He says that Trump has a 70% chance of winning the Electoral College. 70, and by the way, that's all that matters, right? The Electoral College is all that matters. So, in other words, Nate Silver is saying that he's a 70% chance of winning, which is astounding. That is more than twice what Biden has. It's crazy. But here's the other part that I want to point out that's even more crazy. I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe the only time a Republican this century has won the popular vote was in 2004 with Bush. Could be wrong, so you can fact check me on that if you want, but it doesn't happen very often for Republicans. Right here, Nate Silver is saying that Trump has a 56% chance of winning the popular vote. And I've been saying for a long time that if Joe Biden doesn't at least get 3% more of the popular vote than Donald Trump, that he'll lose. He has to get 3% more. And the reason why is just because of how the Electoral College breaks up. It's one of the reasons why Democrats are so hell-bent on destroying the Electoral College. But you can see here that, like, that's not even on the table. If right now we were seeing Biden has a 56% chance instead of Trump of winning, I would still say Trump's probably going to win. That's how bad this is for Biden. I would still say that Trump's going to win if Biden took the popular vote. But at this point, Nate Silver says Trump is easily going to beat Biden on the Electoral College and even beat him on the popular vote. That's astounding. This narrative that Trump is somehow unpopular when compared to Biden is just simply not true, and the numbers are so clear there. I think there's a world in which every single swing state, except maybe Michigan or Pennsylvania, goes toward Trump and he wins in pretty much a landslide. The other thing I want you to look at, this is really fascinating. This poll was done by Southern California Research, which shows that Trump is only 3 points behind Biden in Virginia. 3 points in Virginia. So at that point, according to that poll, Virginia is now a toss-up state, which it never was before. If Trump were to take Virginia, it would be over. It'd be over initially. But this is the really interesting part. In the same poll, if you match up Trump and Kamala Harris, you can see it right here, it's a tie. It is a tie. And so basically, these are horrible numbers for Democrats because essentially you can keep Biden for sure, or you can lose him, but either way, you're going to lose. If Virginia is that close, and there's other polls that I've showed in the past, by the way, that shows Harris losing by like 5 to 10 points in the general election. Again, if Harris was beating Trump by 1 point in the general election, Trump would still win because of the Electoral College. That's what I'm saying. That's how bad it is and how dire it is for Democrats. But that's not the case. Trump is up in the popular vote, and so essentially they're screwed. Stephen Colbert can talk all day about wanting to switch Biden out, but it looks bad either way. In fact, the polling kind of shows that keeping Biden in is a little bit better because a lot of people don't know who these other people in are. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot more people know who Joe Biden is than Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris gets nobody excited. If you're a Democrat and you're kind of one of those reasonable Democrats and you hear that it's Trump versus Kamala Harris, you probably just won't show up to vote. And that means Donald Trump wins. So Stephen Colbert, according to him, this is his words, not even mine, the Democrats are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.